welcome to a slightly unusual episode of the Fully Charged Show. Now, many of you will know that some of the big Japanese mass-produced car manufacturers have a very luxury brand associated with them. Nissan have Infiniti, Toyota have Lexus, but now BYD from China have Yangwang. Now, this enormous machine is the Yangwang U8, and it is a plug-in hybrid, which we normally would never touch with a barge pole. But this particular car does have a particular set of skills. For one thing, it can turn on its axis, it can do a tank turn, and for another thing, if you make a mistake and drive into a river, you just drive it to the other side of the river and drive out. Love the Fully Charged Show? Join us live in Canada this September, the South in October, and Australia and London in 2025. Now, before we look at the all-electric supercar, the U9, I just couldn't help having a quick look round the truly bonkers Yangwang U8. Yes, the Yangwang U8 is a plug-in hybrid, and as I've said, we wouldn't normally cover that. There is a petrol engine under here. It burns fossil fuels. But, you know, this vehicle is so exceptional, I think it is really worth having a look at. It is a series hybrid. That means that the petrol engine is not mechanically connected to the wheels in any way. It operates just as a generator. So this vehicle can do about 85 to 90 miles on battery alone, which is what you're going to use for the vast majority of the time you have the car. But you can do then 600 miles when you've got a tank full of petrol to burn. It's got lithium iron phosphate battery chemistry built by BYD. That's their speciality. They're a battery company that make cars, not a car company that are scrabbling around looking for batteries. They know batteries backwards. It has close to 1,200 horsepower. It needs it. It's the size of quite a large semi-detached house. It's got one motor for each wheel, so each wheel is individually driven by a motor. All this made by BYD. No, they're not buying parts from anyone else. And as I mentioned earlier on, because it's got those four motors that are controlling each wheel separately, it can do this ridiculous thing. I don't know where you'd use it, maybe in a car park when you just bought some milk and you needed to turn this vehicle around. It will do a tank turn. That means that literally these wheels on this side are turning that way and those wheels on that side are turning that way, and it goes probably not good for long-term tyre wear. But the fact that it can do it, and a vehicle this size can do it, is absolutely amazing. It also means its off-road capabilities are off the scale. It can deal with incredibly difficult terrain and sand and things like that combustion engine four-wheel drives really struggle with. But let's just quickly mention the fact of its capabilities of floating. I mean, that really is bonkers. They do not advise you to do it. It is not something you should do every day. But if, by any chance, you accidentally drive off the side of a road into a river, you know, it's a difficult one, but say you do, this car will float and it will cut off the petrol engine no matter what's going on, and it will drive the wheels with the electric motor, because electricity and water are much safer and more reliable than petrol engines and water. You put a petrol engine underwater, it will stop forever. But the electric motors will keep going and it will spin the wheels, and that will drive you along, and you can steer it to go to the other bank. It's safe to be in water for about 30 minutes. The sunroof automatically opens, so in a really dire emergency, you can still get out of the car easily. But the fact is, you can drive it into a river or a lake, and you're not going to sink. And of course, a critically important piece of technology this vehicle comes with is a karaoke machine. So you play your song there, and it's got a karaoke microphone, and you can sing to your heart's content. Obviously not while you're driving, that would be unsafe, but maybe your passengers want to do it, or you're stuck in heavy traffic and you think, I'll just have a bit of a sing. The time has come. Can't sing because we haven't got the copyright. And this, dear viewers, is the Yangwang U9. And the stats for this vehicle are completely bonkers, off the charts. It's just short of 1,300 horsepower. It can do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in around 2 seconds. It's got a top speed of 186 miles an hour. It is an 800-volt platform. It has 4 BYD electric motors, one for each wheel, and it can perform tank turns as well, like the U8. Each motor has 322 horsepower or 240 kilowatts of power, each individual motor. That's like 4 cars in one car. It can be charged quite quickly, so it can go from 30 to 80% in 10 minutes, because you can charge it on both sides of the car. You can plug in 250 kilowatts both sides, so you're charging the car at 500 kilowatts. That is a bonkers electric supercar. So the battery capacity on this car is 80 kilowatt hours, which can give it, if you drive really carefully, a range of, they say 280 miles. I'd say 220, 230 miles. I bet if you drove really carefully, because it's so aerodynamically amazing, we'll talk about that later, you'd probably get quite good range out of it. But what really makes this car stand out is the suspension. The U9 has DCIS X intelligent body control. Now this is kind of a next level of computer controlled suspension that can be activated in milliseconds. And one of the things it does, so if you're like on a track and you're at the start line and you put your foot down, the car doesn't lift up as you rock it forward like all cars do. The car stays level. The suspension levels the car out. If you go around a corner really fast, it doesn't tip to one side, it stays absolutely flat. If you brake incredibly hard, it stays flat. The suspension is so incredibly finely tuned and powerful that it can literally lower the car right down, then boing it up in the air. It literally takes off. They've been demonstrating this all over the world with this car. It is quite extraordinary. The estimated price for the U9 in the UK and Europe, if they do bring it here, which they are talking about very seriously, that's why we're seeing this now, the estimated price in the UK would be £184,000. I mean, incredible amount of money. That would be $233,000 in the US or 216,000 euros. So it's really not a cheap car. Let's be really serious about that. However, if you compare it with the other cars that I mentioned, the Rimac Nevera is around £2 million, and the Pininfarina Battista is over £3 million. So this car, this incredible achievement in technological breakthrough technology, just extraordinary, is about a sixth of the cost of its rivals. This one probably goes faster in a straight line, goes faster around corners, can stop quicker, and has longer electric range, and definitely charges quicker than any of them. That really has to be taken into consideration. So one of the interesting things I think about this interior is the only other supercars I've ever sat in have a massive, analog dials and butch switches and all that stuff. This is obviously very plain and simple. Small screen here, really responsive, really fast. As soon as you touch it, it changes. There's no lag there. Difficulty of really knowing how this car runs is all the information is in Chinese. So this is a Chinese-built car and it's for the Chinese market. So it's kind of hard to judge. One of the key things I know is there's a little phone holder here that looks level, so your phone would just slide off, but as soon as you put a phone on it, it goes down and it holds your phone safely and securely. Really comfortable seats, obviously very tight, holding you in. They're good racing seats. They're good. This is a performance car. This car goes fast. That's what it's for. Amazing visibility and really cool camera rear view mirror, which I've got to say I like. I know there's been a lot of criticism when we did the Polestar 4 recently. That's got no rear window. Well, nor is this. But I can really see clearly. It's got proper mirrors on the doors. I would be able to drive this car, but I would drive it very slowly. It would be a waste of me having it. Obviously, the materials that are used on the interior are beautiful. It's all very high end. I would think this is pleather or vegan leather, but it might not be. It might be real leather. I can't really tell. We got very minimal information about all those intricacies of the car, but it's what is I still go on. What is the most extraordinary thing is this is not a prototype. This is a production car. It's in production. They've made lots of them. The fit and finish is off the scale. It's stunning. The challenge from China is mind-boggling for the automotive industry. It really is. So it's kind of hard to sum up what I've seen here today. An incredible, super powerful supercar, incredibly fast supercar. This absolute monster, huge SUV with a petrol engine in it. And when it started up accidentally when we were filming it, we could all smell the fumes. You know, there is a big downside to even amazing plug-in hybrids like this, but I'm really glad we covered it because it represents so many other breakthroughs in technology that BYD have been achieving at breakneck speed. This company didn't exist 2 years ago, and look what they've made already. It's an incredible achievement. I'm really, really impressed with what they're doing. I can't wait. I'm going to have a little ride in the U9 in the near future, which I'm very excited about. Please do subscribe to the Fully Charged Show channel if you haven't already. Please do tell friends and mates and family members and skeptics about it, because we see a huge range of vehicles on this show. And as always, if you have been, thank you for watching.